This is the Gold Auditorium Solid Top from Arrow Guitars, and it costs just over $100. And this is what it sounds like. Now, there are two ways for me to approach this review. One, for beginners or parents or guardians of beginners, or people that just want budget guitars. And I'm going to try and please both of you while still staying true to what's actually happening with this guitar. Which means I'm going to give you the specs in just a moment, but first let's talk about who this guitar is for and why it exists. Arrow Guitars want to make accessible instruments, but make sure that they're made well and set up well. And that is the underlying biggest factor about this guitar. So regardless of how it sounds or how it looks, it plays beautifully. Straight out of the box, the Gold Auditorium is one of the best set up acoustic guitars I've ever played in this price range. Because usually at this price point, you get something that needs a bit of work. This needs nothing. It plays well as it is. It's fully acoustic, there's no pickup or anything like that, although Arrow Guitars do a pickup version with a cutaway just here, and that will of course cost a little bit more money. So, firstly, this is a solid spruce top. It has mahogany back and sides, which will be laminated at this price point. The neck is made of akume, which is a kind of mahogany-ish wood, and it is really chunky. I have big hands, I love chunky necks. That is a lot of guitar, so if you're on the smaller side, this might not be the guitar for you. However, if you're looking for something affordable that is nice and big, this could be the one. The bridge is made of Richlite, which is a composite wood material, and they've done the same for the fretboard. We've also got binding across the neck and all around the body. It is a larger body. This is bigger than a Dreadnought. It is a big boy. We've got a plastic nut and a compensated plastic saddle and some tuners that do the job. We also have a strap button just there and one under the neck, so it's ready to put on a strap and stand up and play. So if that's important to you, not all guitars at this price point come with strap buttons. There's also a volute on the back, which is an extra glued on bit of wood. That's adding strength to that headstock. And I'm guessing at this price point, if you're a beginner, you might not have a stand. So that's very welcome in case it does take a little tumble. The whole finish is rather satiny, but it is not dusty or needs extra sanding. It's very, very well done. And I guess we should hear it again. So this is the Lewitt LCT 540S large condenser mic, and it's about 13-14 inches away from the guitar, aimed at where the neck meets the body, which is the 14th fret. I am aware that it can look much further on this camera angle, but it's not, it's just there. I've also got my stereo microphone, which is the SR3D Pro, on top of the camera, so you can get a more sort of in-the-room sound, which we'll do a little bit later on. Let's stay with the close mic for now. Let's do some strumming. I hope you're listening on good speakers, and if you are, you might notice that this doesn't sound like what it looks like. It looks and feels like a big old guitar, whereas the sound feels, the sound sounds less bassy and less boomy than I would think when I picked it up at first, which is both a good thing and a bad thing. It's also very sensitive to where I play on the guitar. There's a big difference between playing near the bridge and near the neck, so I'll demonstrate that for you. I would normally play around this area where the sound, right on the edge of the sound hole, but I find with this guitar, when I do that, it lacks a little bit of clarity, which is generally the theme for the sound of it. And I'm not saying don't buy it. I'm saying that when you buy a guitar like this, it ticks all the boxes of exactly what you should need in a guitar if it's at this price point. It just doesn't quite tick the tone box. And I think that's fair because I don't think that's what Arrow are trying to achieve. So let's do some more. Always got to give that one extra strum. Yeah, this is a perfect beginner / campfire / take it on the road and not worry too much about it. Although it is sturdy for sure. I think with recording, I'm going to put this little thing on the neck. on the headstock. This makes a big difference. It's a little string mute that deadens the strings on the top of the headstock. And that's important because I'm hearing a lot of ringing from this bit when I'm playing, which is normal for acoustic guitar. I'll show you what I mean. So you can hear it if I don't mute that. And just to do that close up, the mic's in the wrong place now, but does that make sense? Can you hear that? If not, please scroll back a bit in the video and have a little listen. And now if I put this on with all the dexterity of an orangutan at the gym, there. That ringing's gone. And if I was in a studio, this is how I would record acoustic guitar, because I don't like that sort of sounds up there. I will have added a little bit of reverb in the post-processing of this video, by the way, just to give it a bit more space because my studio is pretty dead, but I'm not going to go over the top, it's just going to give it a bit of space. Let's do the capo test and see if this stays intonated all the way up the neck. I'm going to put it on the 7th fret. There we go, give it a squeeze. And I do this because on many acoustic guitars at this price point, they go out of tune there. So if this is still in tune, it's a good thing. Which is, well, if something is still in tune, it's generally a good thing. Here we go. And there's also no buzzing, so the neck's pretty solid as well. And I've had guitars 10 times the price of this that have not performed so well. Well done, Arrow guitars. Let's check it with a tuner. I'm going to put that up there, and I can't display this on screen. Right, that's tuned with the capo on. It was actually a little bit sharp when I put the capo on, but every note had been sharpened, which meant that it was still in tune with itself. I'll check that once I take the capo off, but let's do the old favorite. If we're still talking campfire, this is brilliant. If we're talking in a mix, if you're doing a studio kind of thing, this would sit lovely in a mix. It doesn't quite fill things on its own. Let's take the capo off and see if it's still in tune. I mean, it's in tune with itself. now it's a bit flat. But every note is flat. Okay, so I've been kind of fooling myself saying that it stayed in tune with the capo on. Technically it did, but also didn't. If you're playing alone, this is not a problem for you. I will say that I'm enjoying playing this guitar a lot, and that is a big, big factor for me. There's no fight, there's no I wish it did this or I wish it did that, there's no rough edges or anything that's getting in the way of me playing. It's fun. And it's cheap. Okay, great guitar. Let's have a look inside. If you look over to the, if I can get this camera right down in, hang on. Inside, everything looks really tidy, like worryingly tidy. And I think that Arrow have done a very good job building this. I can't quite see what you're seeing. It's very clean. And again, it's 130 notes. It's phenomenal for that price. If you're looking for the truss rod adjustment, it's not up there. It is in the sound hole, just at the top there, where it is on many acoustics. And I can report that it's a very well-built guitar. 130 bucks. It feels great. It's set up almost perfectly. Yeah, the nut could go down a little bit. And if you're into jumbo acoustics, I don't think you're going to find many on the market that have built this well at this price point. But the big question is, where can you buy them? Because Arrow guitars exist not just to produce cheaper acoustic and electric guitars and basses and possibly other things at this point. They exist so that they can put guitars into music shops that are in towns and cities. That's the plan anyway. So I know you can buy them online, and I will put links underneath the video so you can find them, and Reverb is one of those places, for example. But these are all aimed at making music accessible to people. And when you look at it like that, I think the lackluster tone of this instrument means absolutely nothing. It's a fine acoustic sound. I just know that if you're more experienced with acoustics, you're not going to like the sound because you're going to be expecting something that is more tone wood based, dare I say. That's not what this is all about. This is about building and growing guitar players, and Arrow guitars are doing a wonderful job of doing that. So that is the Arrow Gold Auditorium. It is a big thumbs up from me due to 1, the price point, and 2, the attention to detail and setup that's gone into this. I haven't forgotten that I was going to do the ears on top of the camera sound, so I'll play you out with that. Please remember to subscribe and give it an old thumbs up or 2 on the video. See you later. There's a tractor outside. Shut up, tractor. Here comes a tractor.